Hello friends, my name is Shibid. Thank you for coming back to see me. I have a custom order to show you today. I hope this video is going to be okay light-wise because I seem to be getting some flickering when I've got the lights on last time, and I haven't noticed it before, so I don't know if my camera is glitching a bit. So I'm just trying it in daylight and hoping that that's okay because it's not very bright here. The other thing to mention is that, as I said, I was hoping to get a new camera. I have now got one because I know that a lot of you are having trouble hearing me, and I know that the sound is really awful. I just record on my phone at the moment. So yes, I've got a new camera, but I think I've broken it. I tried it this morning for this video, but I think I'm going to have to wait till my son gets home again and he can look at it for me. So if you're watching in a real timeline, you know, if you're watching my videos in order, this will make no sense because you'll probably already have seen videos on the new camera, because this one is not being uploaded for several weeks. So just that was an explanation of why you might find things confusing. So the lady that ordered this book is giving it as a gift to her sister, and so I'm going to wait until she sees her sister in order to upload the video, because I'm not sure if she watches or not, but I don't want to spoil the surprise. So that's that. Now the sister is going away on a trip to Italy, and it seems like it's a very long trip, so I'm not sure if she's visiting other places as well, but that's all I know. She's going on a trip and she likes nature, so this is the book that I have come up with. Now the other thing is, before I start, I am having a potential problem with customs and sending things abroad that contain plant specimens. Now this has not really occurred to me before, but I was having a conversation with a lovely lady from Australia who has ordered a book and asked that I didn't include real specimens, and of course I realised why, and I've been trying to find the answer to the question, am I allowed to send dried, preserved, pressed flowers abroad? So these are obviously they're non-viable samples. They're sealed in, you know, paper or acetate or glued down, things like that. So can I get a straight answer from customs? No, I can't. And what they've sent me, I don't understand. If anyone has information on this, I would appreciate it so much if you could explain things to me. You know, you might have come across it. If not, I'm going to keep trying to email the different departments and, you know, see if I can get any clearer answer than we might burn your stuff and burn your house down and kidnap one of your children. So I don't know what's going to happen. I may have to start messaging people who are on my list in order just to explain that at the moment I can't send real flowers through the post, because you know, one, I don't want them to get into trouble for importing goods that they shouldn't be, and also I don't want to get into trouble. So that's that. I can send apparently to Europe, so that's fine. I'm in Britain, so if you're in Europe then that's no problem. Which brings me back to this book. This book has no samples because I know she's going to Italy. I'm not sure where else she's going, so I haven't included anything. I wouldn't want her to get in trouble in the airport or anything like that with her luggage. So to start with the book, I'm going to zoom out a touch, I think. Oops. Okay. I don't think I can zoom out. Okay, so all I know is nature and travel. So I didn't want to make it too cliche about being a travel brochure, a travel book, because, you know, it doesn't have to be that way. It's just about the things that you like, really. I've done it like this so that this is folded over to protect the side of your pages, so you can, you know, put it into a bag. And I haven't put any dangles. I didn't want things on it that were going to get tangled up and get annoying in your baggage. So on the front I've just left everything plain. There's only this tie and the button, and the top the same. I've done charms on the inside that I'll show you afterwards. And so first page, I'm just going to leave this stuff aside for a moment. I hope that I'm not the only one that remembers these old vintage suitcases. I remember having one like this, with this kind of roughly pleated, I don't know what it is, it's like a lining fabric. But I thought that the colours also went well with some of the matte pages that I've used in the book, the blues and the greens. So I've made that into a little pocket there. And I've put a few little bits in here. So this is your little card for personal info in case it gets lost somewhere. You've got numbers on the back, and here's some pretty postcards. This is a vintage postcard from the Lake District where your book has originated, from this area, and just got this pretty little stamp on the back. There's quite a few vintage postcards in this book that I've managed to find for you. And the other thing to mention is that this lady is very new to junk journals, so I may explain a few things in here that are very obvious to the rest of you watching. She saw the client who's ordered the book has had a book of her own made. So when the sister came to visit, she saw her book and loved it, and so that's why we're making one for her. So this is washi tape, if you don't know what washi tape is, and it's just decorated tape. So these are little samples on a laminated card, and you can use this to stick photos and stick pamphlets and little pictures and things on your travels, just like sellotape. This is a vintage postcard from Japan. So I've put quite a variety of things. It's mostly Italy, if there are any references. I'll stick those in afterwards. Okay, so there's some vellum here on the first page with a cool quote by Walt Whitman. And this is a poet that I'd never heard of until, I'm sorry I've forgotten your name, but a lady mentions him in the comments on one of my videos. So I looked him up, and he's a really cool poet. I think he's one of these born to be a poet people. He has a very lovely use of language and words, and I think I'm going to be using him quite a lot. So thank you, sweetheart, for mentioning him to me. So map of Italy, of course. And I've put in one of these cards with some nice heading samples on. This is the name of the font here. So you can use these to help you with your journal. And these are the things that I normally put in with every single journal. Note from the bookmaker about junk journaling. And I think that the main thing that we would like you to know is that don't be afraid to use your junk journal. You know, we want you to fill it and put your thoughts in it, and just fill it with the stuff that you like, and it will become more and more beautiful. Here is a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and I've tried to keep all the quotes about either journaling or travel and that sort of theme. There's a little butterfly. I've used some of the papers from the Tim Holtz, what's it called, Destinations, and these are from Etsy. These are little luggage labels that I've cut out and stuck in quite a few different places. There's one of these envelopes with a lace top. Some airmail envelopes. Of course you can use these, you know, to write home. This is from a very old, like a tourism pamphlet brochure thing of the ballet, Milano. Just got to get the door, excuse me. And back. Okay, there's a little flip here with writing space on the back, and this is a lovely plate from a vintage hiking book. I've done some inked papers for sketching or writing, whatever you please. Some envelopes. Most of the envelopes I've tried to do so that they will lock your bits and pieces in, because you're travelling with your journal, so that either the spine will hold things in or closed at the top. They're not exactly all like that, but mostly. There's a leaf transfer here. I had a little mishap in the garden. I had some, oh, this is a lovely poem, Tewkesbury Road, if anyone wants to look it up, about travels. I had been doing some inked papers outside and was trying out some transfer methods, but I got rained on, unfortunately, so it washed a lot of the inks out. So I have been able to include a few in here, but not as much as I wanted. And I always try to keep the book pages that I use relevant to whatever we're doing. Some tracing paper, you can write on this, and I always think it's cool if you, when these are layered, you can write in different colours on different pages, and then, you know, you can actually see through. It looks quite cool. So some more map pages. This is a beautiful vintage postcard. It's printed on like a linen paper. It almost actually feels like an oil painting. It's gorgeous. And that says, "To William from Nora." She was a woman of few words, our Nora, but we loved her. More vellum. And this I normally include in most of my books. This is inspired by those old vintage writing practice books. Some more maps, a little bee tape, bits of collaging. This is machine stitching lines. There's what is this called? A thing? A dictionary definition. Voyage. Oh, I've just put this paper clip in badly. So more stitches and vines on this side. I don't know if you can see that. Like so. This page is a vintage exercise book. This is really lovely. Some transfers here with stitches. And I've used this cotton organdy again, which I'm really loving. I forgot to mention one of the qualities of it last time, is that it's quite stiff, and normally when I make these pockets I would line them with card on one side to keep them upright, but it's kind of almost like screen door fabric. It's quite unusual, and I really like the way you can use it with paper. This is, oh, the door again. I'm popular today. And back. Okay, so this is Chinese paper that my friend brought me back from China, and this has been inked and sprayed. This is the walnut stain oxide, and when you spray it, the colours separate and behaves really beautifully on this very porous paper. Pockets here with a couple of little just bought envelopes, and some vintage paper, and that's the other side, that's the other side, so is that, and so is that. A couple of little journaling cards here, and that's a hand card stamp. This, you can take this out of here like this, and write on the back and write on here. And I just wanted to show you, this may not be obvious to everybody because it wasn't obvious to me, but if you're doing this, it's much easier to, I saw somebody do this and I was, wow, I didn't know you could do that. So if you put the corners on first and then stick your picture, you'll find it much easier to place properly. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I've put some of these little photo corners in the back of your book for you, so that you can stick pictures or stick postcards in your book as you travel around. And some more stitching on this page. Well, a lot of the pages have stitching. I'm trying not to talk too much this time because I'm just getting over a cold, and if I don't do this in one take, I know that I'm going to start losing my voice very quickly. This is a vintage Heidi book, and if you've seen my videos before, you'll know that, you know, any excuse to use this lovely book cover. It's Midsummer Night's Dream, of course, and it's set in Italy, so this time I have a really good excuse to use it. So here's one of the little leaf transfers, and I've just filled that with plain paper, so that's an extra notebook for you. Some silk ruffles. There's another envelope. And lots of postage stamps in this one as well. It's a definition for bohemian. And I've printed graph lines on this tracing paper that has a magnet. This is a vintage luggage tag. On here is a little bit of the transfer that I was talking about. I've tried some, where's that? Excuse me a moment. Sorry, just went to find my vines. So, you know, this trim that a lot of us seem to be using right now. So I've just laid this across the inked papers and layered some papers over each other, and some of them came out quite well. This one's a bit faint, but I think there's some more later as well. And this is again printed on organdy with a hand carved stamp, so you can write behind here as well. These are more luggage tags from Etsy. Here's another hand carved stamp on a tag. and this is from a vintage nature wildlife book, so I've just used the 2 pages, and I didn't too much care for the inside picture. This bottom half, very handy for me, was able to make into a pocket because the top half of the pictures was okay. Anyway, here is Miss Mona Lisa. This is a vintage postcard book. It says 1601, so that's really, really vintage, guys. And another very old vintage one. 1068. Don't know what that means. I don't think it's the date. I don't think it's that old. Some ledger paper. And some more luggage tags, just fussy cut, and I've just combined these with some stamping. And some more stamping here with some lines. It's a printed fern leaf. And I've done another one of these spindle fold envelopes with space here. And just glued the flap down on that side. You can probably see that one a bit clearer. I think it looks nice that it just adds a little bit of interest on your pages. There's a vintage postcard here of a couple kissing on the beach while the tide comes in. That's made into a pocket. And this is another thing that I put in most journals, a library card, and I've chosen Gulliver's Travels for that one. I've done a bit of collage with those vines and used some postage stamps just of little birdies and butterflies so that they're actually sitting on the trees. And a postmark, and just use different colours of the vines. You can even cut the leaves off, of course, and put them where you want, because that wouldn't be obsessive at all. This is some lovely postage stamp paper somebody gave me. Thank you, Jenny. And I've just used this as a pocket and put a magnet stamp. This is a luggage tag again, and so I've just stuck that onto card and use that as the clasp. Some mulberry paper, lovely watercolour, little collage pockets, and a Chinese owl, or a Chinese picture of an owl, I should say. I don't know if it's a Chinese owl or not. And the stitching on some of these machine lines, I always think it's nice if you can match the colours as well. Helps to coordinate your book. And I love this quote from Oscar Wilde. It's when the 2 girls in that story are comparing their diaries to see who's got engaged first. It's so funny. And he's so funny. Little pocket here with these are tracing paper tags. After the last that Tolkien inspired journal that I did, so many people have said that they love mushrooms. I was really surprised. So I think I'm trying to include more mushrooms in my work now, especially since it's a nature theme. This is that gorgeous Destinations paper. So I've done that as a fold. There's another little transfer here, this one single solitary leaf. I thought it was worth putting that paper upside down just to have that because I think it's cute. So I've just put some plain papers in here, graph paper, lined paper. On the back there's a little photo tuck space, 2 little tags here, and some more tracing paper machine lines. Another quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And on this side some tags in a pocket. And another quote. Oh, this is the memorandum paper, also gorgeous. I think this is my probably my favourite. There's a little ribbon here on some eyelets. I'm going to rush a bit because my time might be running out momentarily. See if I can do this in only part one. The Road Not Taken poem. More luggage tags. Another fold out. There's two pockets here that will keep your bits from falling out. And that's a secure pocket so that you can put a nice big one for documents and things like that. More pages here for a little notebook. Fussy cut. This was from Daphne's diary. This one is a Cavallini, and this is another vintage postcard from India. And in the back I've done this one as its own signature so that you have this envelope for easy access for your more important bits and pieces. On the back I've got a little photo of Audrey with her luggage, because we all look like that when we're travelling, obviously. And then to go with that is My Fair Lady, little postage stamp. This is a little vintage ticket. This is a vintage time card. I think it's vintage. I bought it thinking it was vintage, but it does look in very good condition. And that's your photo corners, and this is a pack that I've had from IKEA for I don't know how many years. 2004. So vintage IKEA, guys. Who'd have ever thought? So I'll put those in later just while I show you the charms. A little coffee pot because you're going to Italy. Mille fiori. I couldn't not put these in. I've put a couple of these in because, well, mille fiori. Love the Italian accent. This because it's from your sister. The Italian accent makes me think of I don't care what you think. I'm Italian. This is what I think. Love it. And whoops, this is my little shop seal. And hopefully I'll just have enough time to show you these bits and pieces. This is my special section of things I've run out of space for in the book. So I think that I've shown you one of these before in one of my needle books. I've either shown you the paper or the pin one, I can't remember. So normally I make one of these out of felt, and that's just a little spare bits for your travels. So normally I just put some spare pins, but I've put a couple of extra bits because you're travelling. If I can focus on the side, I don't know if I'll be able to. You can probably see how that's made. So this